Okay, now we're live. We're just talking about how crowded Indiegogo is. Not in just Indiegogo, but Kickstarter in general. Crowdfunding in general, Kickstarter also. Um, when you guys launch, do you have this thing where before you launch a campaign, you feel the need to rush to launch it because of it? It just feels like it's being so crowded. And if you launch sooner, then there's going to be less competition. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel that pull personally whenever I'm launching, even though I've done 3 now.
Yeah, I put it off for 6 months actually to gather up an email list. Did the whole pre-sign up thing, and I kept putting it off. But to be honest with you, I launched because of the election. I was like, I want to get this thing out before the world goes crazy, and sure enough, the world's gone a little crazy. And so I was like, I think the time is now. So that was really the reason why I launched when I did.
Yeah, no, it's definitely smart to get the mailing list built up first. That's huge. It's always a question. I would analyze it forever as to like what's the best month, what's the best day, of the week, like all this kind of stuff, just to optimize your chances. I'm not 100% sure that it matters, but some of it ends up becoming superstition, or it might be. But like I've looked at days of week with the most web traffic, and I saw this website that said it was just an article where they said that there's more traffic on Tuesday and Wednesday, therefore those are the best days to launch campaigns. I don't know if that's really true. I mean, that could be the most web traffic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best days to launch a crowdfunding campaign. But I don't dare, because I've already done it like a Tuesday or a Wednesday each time. I don't dare switch it to like a Friday because that might throw off my whole thing. So then it just becomes sort of adopted as a tradition as opposed to, a real thing. So
superstition.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know that like Kickstarter will say, launch it during the week, not on a weekend, and don't have your campaign end on a holiday. And I noticed Indiegogo said to do it on a Monday or Tuesday, because that's when people are getting back to work and they're at work and they're just like, I don't know, on their computers all day browsing the internet. So like start of the week, people are checking their emails, they're, kind of getting ready for everything. And I think all those are, pretty good tips for people. I mean, might as well be on the safe side and see if it works out. But when I launched the Kickstarter for Lifeline, my second book, in 2018, I did it in December, and I was really worried about that because it's the holidays and people are, spending money on Christmas gifts, and maybe they're not looking on Kickstarter.
Right.
And I had some people who would have backed it told me, "Oh, I can't. I'm tight with money around this time of the year." Thankfully it all worked out and it was still a great campaign. But I think that's something I would avoid. But I was ready. Like I had everything ready for it, and I was ready to go. And I was like, man, I don't want to put this off anymore. So let's see if it works. And it did, but. I think avoiding the holidays, and especially I'm going to be launching a new project early next year. And the reason why I want to do that is because tax returns. And I think that's always a good time to do a crowdfunding campaign because people have that extra money and they're looking for stuff. They want to find, new things, and they have money that they can just kind of like, oh, cool. Like this is a fun thing for me to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point.
Burning a hole in the wallet or something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I launched in January for Downcast 2. And that was so stressful. I was like really not sure if I should do it. There it is right there. Yeah. But it came down to, I was just thinking, do I launch it now because there aren't other big campaigns, and I know of all these other big campaigns that are coming out this next month, in February. February is a big launch month. and I have nothing to compare it to. I have no idea if it would have done better if I would have waited a month, but it did well. You know what I mean? So it worked, I guess. So I won't stress out about it too much.
That's interesting too, because I've been publishing since '92, and traditionally the worst months to release anything was January through March, right after Christmas, because everybody's spent all their money. So that's interesting you say that February has become a big month for crowdfunding, because traditionally that was one of the 3 sort of no months. Like those are the months you try to avoid.
And I don't think it's necessarily that it's a good month. It's that people have been waiting. They haven't been launching in November, December, or January, and so you've got all this sort of pent up, like, I don't know if it's anxiety or it's like, okay, we got to get a campaign going. So that might be part of it, but I don't know. I'll see. Your boy Zach will launch a campaign, and it'll be a Saturday night, at
3 in the morning.
10:30. Yeah, 3. It just doesn't seem to matter.
He goes to bed. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. He's not,
$50,000. Look at that.
Right. There might be something to that too. I was thinking the 80-20 rule might also apply to crowdfunding, where 80% of your backers are going to come from the mailing list, like all the work that you've done ahead of time. And then the last 20%, you're going to have to spend 80% of your effort to get them.
Yeah.
And it's that grind in the middle of the campaign. It's so tough. And I don't know, part of me, I think maybe he's onto something where he just sort of launches it and moves on with his life, because he knows he's going to get, a certain number of people back in the campaign. I just know when he did last year, when he did the Sylvester Stallone book, it was like he was on every stream. You could tell he was really pushing it. But I'm sure his expenses on that book were much higher too, having Sylvester Stallone taking a piece of the pie. I don't know exactly how that laid out, but I don't know. All this stuff's interesting. I like to
I backed Expendables pretty quickly when he talked about that, because I didn't back Jawbreakers, but then when I saw Expendables go to hell, I was like, oh, this is an interesting concept. And I like that he was doing something licensed, which is actually, I guess, a first for Comicsgate. Yeah, right. It's the only book that's using a license at this point.
I can't think of anyone else, for sure, other than people that own their own thing. But I don't know that. Yeah, it's notable, and I kind of I like seeing people try stuff like that. I don't know that it definitely wouldn't be for me. Super, especially not in this stage. But I like seeing people do it. I like the idea too when like Ethan was talking about doing a subscription service. A lot of people didn't, but I like that because it's sort of taking the mainstream comic industry head on. Like you're gonna do a bi-monthly book, regular serialized comic. We can do that too.
Right. Definitely.
So yeah, let me say hi to the chat here real quick. Christine is here. Hey guys, we have Skip Edwards art. Hill. Hey Skip. Let's see. Heroinberg is here. Just came over from Pop XP. Hell chat. Hell Nandor. We got our book on sale at Antiquarium. Very cool.
Nice. Sweet.
R is here. Hello. K Manifesto says what's up. Let's see. Boogiebot Comics. Hello. And so Thomas DeVries is here too. I'm here too. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the chat. We got a couple campaigns to look at. As is tradition, I just named the chat. I named it something that seems timely. Counting like it's Arizona. I'm not going to talk about the election. I have nothing to add, just like no other news network has to add. But we can speculate to how counting is going. I don't know. I just feel so unsatisfying not knowing. Not having it be cut and dry is really irritating.
What state are you in, Nandor?
I'm in Missouri.
Missouri, okay.
Yeah.
Florida, Utah. So, are we all red? Is Missouri red? Missouri went red.
Yeah, Missouri went red. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was at least decisive, so we can move on. The thing about being in a swing state, could you imagine? Florida, you probably get it. I don't know how Missouri is, but we don't really get a ton of advertising, political ads, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I can only imagine, like within Florida, you're probably just getting bombarded.
Yeah, Florida is one of the most important states at this point. Florida, Pennsylvania, I'd say Ohio are the ones that they always are fighting for. It's only been recent that places like Michigan and Wisconsin have become in play. They didn't used to be. But
Arizona, it's so strange.
We're living in strange times. You know, I mean, we sell our comic books to people over the internet, right? I mean,
right.
We don't even deal with Diamond anymore. I've dealt with Diamond since '92. I started publishing when I was 17, so I've been dealing with Diamond for forever, and I've never gotten more than 40% the cover price. So this is like great, you know, because I'm able to charge full price for what I'm selling, and still offer them a deal, you know.
Right. Well, so I do have your campaign up here. I'm a little interested to know too about your publishing history. So this is your 5th campaign, I just realized.
Yeah, but here's the catch. All my other campaigns were for animated projects. This is my first comics campaign, but it's not my first comic, if that makes sense. So I come from traditional, you know, publishing where, like I said, I sold to Diamond and bookstore distributors. The last book I did was Claiborne back in 2008. It's a 200-page graphic novel. But all my other campaigns were for my animated film Dogtown, which is still in production. It's got George Foreman and Stacey Dash and Jason Begay from Chicago PD. They do the voices and some of the characters. So not my first campaign, but my first Comics Gate campaign.
Very cool. Well, it looks good. So I saw you drawing there. Did you do the art on this?
Yeah, I'm the artist and the writer. It's just me and a colorist, really. I do everything else.
Wow, that's awesome.
No, thanks.
This is really good art. It stands out really well. You know, you start to see it gets competitive. We talk about it being crowded, but just the level of art. You know what I mean? Just good looking.
And there's different styles. I mean, you know, there's more animation looking styles. I grew up with artists like Brian Boland and Bernie Wrightson and Michael Golden. So I've always liked, you know, sort of the late 80s, early 90s kind of style. But, you know, I don't think it's necessarily better than any other style. It's just what I gravitate to, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. The thing I love about indie comics is that there's such a diversity of styles. Mm-hmm. I like that quite a bit. But it comes down to, like, if there's any major anatomy issues, like even in a very cartoony style, that kind of comes through. And if things look stiff or if they look fluid, you know, I don't know, just great angles and stuff like that. You can kind of see that come through. But yeah, I love this. I love just the variety of style that you get.
It's exciting. House style for Comicsgate. You know, it looks like everyone comes from different artistic backgrounds, and it's important, obviously, to find the right colorist for your style. And I've been working with Jay Brown since 2008, so you know, we understand how we work, and he knows I use a lot of blacks and shadows in my art. So he's a real bold colorist. He gives me exactly what I want. He works for IDW doing G.I. Joe.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
I love it.
Pretty far along.
Are these digital or are they?
I work completely digitally. That's my Cintiq back there. I draw everything on the Cintiq. Nice. I didn't used to ink my own work. I hired an inker for Claiborne, but I loved inking digitally so much that it turned me into an inker. I was hooked at that point. Said, I'll never go back to. I did one traditional piece you see there for sale, which is that poster. It's cool. 17 by 22, you know, 2 artboards taped together. But other than that, that's the only traditional piece. The rest is all digital.
That's cool. Yeah, there's something about being able to do Control Z, you know,
right? Yeah,
with ink. That's pretty nice. But I found it difficult. I'm not a very good artist. I've been working on it, but I've just used the tablet. It's like a Wacom tablet, whatever.
Down on the table. Yeah.
That's so hard for me to be looking at a screen and drawing somewhere else. That's a different skill.
That's what you want. That's what you want right there.
Yeah.
You can get them for a couple $1,000. Actually used, you probably get one for about $1,500. It's once you practice on it, you'll get used to it, and it's just like drawing on paper. It's great.
Yeah, Charlie swears by Cintiqs too.
They're awesome.
A few others, John Malin too.
Yeah, I love them. So, and we got to use Clip Studio Paint, which is what they use, I think. But yeah, it makes things faster. Honestly, it's less messy. It's easier to fix things. It's easier to change stuff. You can move things around. You can ink something and go, you know what, I want to make this tree smaller, and just, you just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to scan stuff anymore. It just makes sense. So I love it. But you don't have any original art to sell. That's the downside.
Right.
You don't have, that's gone. So unfortunately, that's the only downside to it, really, for collectors.
If you can do a few pieces, to me, like a cover, like, I don't know, working digital is great for so many reasons, but if you can do the cover traditionally, or even just do a couple pages or something, that's the one thing I always get people asking about is original art. So
that's why I did the poster there traditionally, because I wanted something to sell. I was like, I got to be able to sell something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I posted the link in the chat for War Party. It looks like our moderators are doing a good job too, posting that. We looked at the art and everything, but why don't you tell us a little bit about the story while we're here?
Yeah, it's during the 1750s, during the French and Indian War, and basically it's about a father trying to get his daughter back. His 8-year-old daughter is abducted to be sold to the French, and the whole family got wiped out. And that character that there you see, the girl there, that's Diane. She's a shaman, and she's the one that has the power of transformation from her tribe. Basically, you put on the pelt of an animal and you turn into that beast. But it has to match your spirit animal. So if your spirit animal's a gator, you're going to turn into a gator, wolf, werewolf, so on and so forth. She basically gives this group of colonials the pelts to transform so they can go fight the French and the British to get their daughter back. And that's the gist of it.
Cool concept. Yeah. So that's a Skinwalker, right? Did they
exactly
call that?
Those
were you guys ever Scouts growing up, Boy Scouts or anything? That was one of those things. Like I had this scoutmaster that told us about skinwalkers while we were camping over a fire. It was nighttime, and it was the scariest thing to me at the time. And right now, even still, it's like, it was one of those things that you don't talk about. Like you only talk about it when you whisper. I don't know. It was just something that hit me when I was younger, and it's kind of always stuck with me as like this. I don't know, like this sacred yet scary kind of concept. So I love that you did that in a comic book. That's a really cool.
It's also in the Celtic tradition. They used to put on the skins of animals when they went into combat, and they'd drink some kind of funky juice that get them all hyped up, and they'd go into combat. Sometimes they'd get so delusional they'd actually think they were turning into that beast, and it would help them fight. So that's kind of what it's based on, except it's literal. Obviously, they're not just wearing skins; they're becoming the beast. And the longer they stay in that form, obviously, the more animal-like they become. So she has to bring them out of it. You have a limited amount of time to be in that form before it starts to overtake you and actually turn you into the animal itself. So you lose a little bit of your humanity every time you do it. But Diane, she doesn't age very fast. Her cells regenerate. She's kind of like Wolverine that way. And I did that for several reasons, but mainly she's going to be the through line. So if I do any other stories beyond this one, I can take her through several different periods of American history.
Oh, nice.
And she'll age very slowly. So I could take this to the Civil War. I could take it to modern day. I could take it to the 60s, the 70s, World War II era, any time out period I want to, and pretty much use her throughout that. And she'll create different war parties based on the, what's going on in the time period and what the problem is and who the people are.
Very cool. Well, so one other thing I saw, I want to say you tagged me in a video where they were talking about the price point. Variant set cover, but complete set, $25, and you get 6 issues. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now they are floppies. They're floppies. They're not graphic novels.
That's a very good deal. Even for floppies, that's a very good deal. So that's a lot for your money. How far are you with having these books finished?
I'm on issue 5, so I've been working on it a couple years actually. So a lot of it's done, which is why I've given myself till June of 2021 to get it finished. So I'll have 5 and 6 done. My colorist still has to do, I think, issues 3 through 6, so he's got a lot of work to do. But like I said, Claiborne was 200 pages. I'm no stranger to long form work. I put in the time, I put in the hours, and I get it done.
Right.
And it's the thing about the way I tell stories is I originally had this as an 8-issue series, but I was just like, that's just too much. That's gonna be too much money and too much time, and I need to cut this down. So I trimmed it down and condensed it as tight as I could get to 6 issues, and that's really, I didn't want to go any less than that because I really had a kind of an epic story to tell, and 140 pages is what I estimate I was going to need for that.
So are these all going to ship at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Get them all at once. So, and that of course will keep the shipping from being out of control, because I think you had mentioned this on the stream once before, that the problem with trying to do floppies with crowdfunding is the shipping costs almost as much as the book, or more it could. So it's not really economically feasible to ship individual issues. And I did have some people say, well, why don't you just make this one volume? Why are you doing 6 issues? Honestly, I just wanted to do a miniseries. I wanted to do floppies. It's that simple. It's not really a business decision. It was more of an artistic decision.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do 6 different covers, and just treat it like a good old fashioned, miniseries that you would have gotten in the 80s or 90s. And that's the way I wanted to go about it. So that's why I did it that way.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. That's for me, that was a tough. I put out a poll. I'm always asking. I asked about hard covers versus paperback graphic novels more recently, but I put out a poll for floppies versus graphic novels, because to me floppies have a little special place in my heart. And there's, I don't know, if you read comics and if you've collected floppies, I think you get it. You know what I mean? It makes sense of why you'd want that. But there's definitely like a push toward graphic novels in the future, I guess. But this doesn't prohibit you from doing a graphic novel, the same story down the road, or doing a print run like that, right?
Yeah. Actually, Adam Post even recommended, he goes, your printer, because they're already printing the guts, the insides, a lot of times they'll do prestige bound formats of all the books together in one for an additional fee, and you can just tack it on to your printing.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's a good idea, for future sales, or if I do it like a follow-up, I would already have this compiled in one volume.
Yeah.
So there's that option too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have been asking the same kinds of questions too, with paperback versus hardbound, because I don't know, it's kind of a hard sell. Hardcover's not for everybody because of shipping costs. Depends on how thick the book is, and I don't know, all these little things. But if you're going to go to print, that's the time to do it. If you have any desire to do it, and also if you have the funds to do it, I guess that's important. Of
course. Yeah.
So, very cool. Well, we'll take a look at this again. Nondor, I didn't see it on Indiegogo. Have you launched your campaign yet?
I just launched it right when we started streaming. Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
so we're gonna go.
I wanted to do a launch on the stream. I thought that'd be fun.
Well, this will be a special place. Let's see. Just launched it. It's probably not up on the trending list right now. Seasons, right?
Yeah, just seasons. And it's volumes 1 and 2. So, yeah,
here it is, right here. Cool. So here's a fresh campaign. We looked at this story before. It was on Kickstarter. I know many people in my audience are not fans of Kickstarter, but this sort of solves that.
I got a lot of people during the Kickstarter campaign asking me to put it on Indiegogo. So I was like, okay, well, I'll happily oblige. And the Kickstarter went super well. We made it, and we made it with still a week to go, and then we unlocked the first stretch goal, which is going to make volume 2. It's going to add embossing and like gloss on the cover and make it even more deluxe, and a thicker paper, interior paper, and everyone's getting that too. So anyone who is backing on Indiegogo or who backed on Kickstarter, they're getting the deluxe hardcover at no extra charge. So yeah, we're on Indiegogo, and I'm really excited. This is my first, Indiegogo campaign. I've done 3 Kickstarter campaigns, but it's great to bring seasons here and kind of see what kind of fan base, is here on Indiegogo. And I know the platform's grown, exponentially in the last couple years. So I'm really excited. Like, I can't wait to see what happens. And I'm really excited because I want to see how Seasons does on Indiegogo. And also I love giving, like, this whole campaign, of course, is about getting the books to people, but it's not about reaching a goal to get it printed. Like, it's going to be made. Volume 2's going to be made. Volume 1's already been printed and shipped and everything. So we're really just trying to, like, get extra stuff with the stretch goals. And so, like, everything about this campaign will be about getting like expedited shipping and art prints for everyone, and all new things that we can do for backers on both platforms.
Very cool.
I like the use of tones in the black and white. It's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anthony Gonzalez Clark is the artist, and he's doing both volumes. We've been at this for the last like 4 years, working on these books, and volume 1 went over really well, and volume 2 did great on Kickstarter. It was my best campaign that I've done, and we're so excited. Like, I mean, coming off of a campaign, it was really interesting to be like, well, should we do something? Should we do another one? I was really exhausted, and I was like, oh man, like, should I, like, bring it to Indiegogo? But people were prodding me, and I was like, okay, well, let's do it, and let's see what happens.
So getting into you've been working on comics for a while, but to me, you're relatively new in sort of the YouTube sphere, and that might just be me being ignorant.
No, you're right.
You kind of getting into things.
Right. I mean, yeah. I've kind of laid low. I mean, I've been learning as I've been going, and I feel like the indie community and the crowdfunding community has grown a lot since I started making comics. And Volume 1 of Seasons came out in the beginning of 2018, and so it's been, even though I've been, like, kind of working in comics and sharing my work on the website and talking to people, I haven't really reached out as much as I have in the last I'd say the last year or so, trying to, like, make connections and get to know more people and kind of build a community around it. So
yeah, the interesting thing to me is that a few years ago, when I was really trying to get into comics, there was this thing when I was turning 30, I was like, I'm going to be 30 and I haven't gotten published yet in comics.
Yeah,
and that was like, it was so stressful. I don't know why. It just felt like a landmark. So I was really trying to make an effort and try to network with people, and it just felt like there wasn't this sort of camaraderie. There was no help anywhere.
Right.
Even though we're all working toward the same thing, it felt more like competitive. Like, if something good happens to you, then it's not happening to me.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this for a little over 2 years now, and ever since Comicsgate, it's just such a rich network of creators that are helping each other out. And it's like, because of that, it keeps you'll see a lot of the same names in different chats depending on which stream is going on. There's a lot of overlap, but it just, I don't know, it makes a really rich community. A lot of people don't like the word community, but a really rich network of fans and creators that are out trying to help each other. And then you're trying to improve your craft too. There's a lot of that. So it's crazy how different it has been. It's like night and day difference from how it was just, a few years earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've definitely seen it, and it's been really interesting to watch, and encouraging, at the same time. But I've really loved seeing, everyone come together. And
Nandor, how was your experience on Kickstarter? I'm curious. Like, how would you rate?
I've done 3 campaigns, and I mean, all of them have been good. I mean, I haven't had any issues. I didn't have any, like problems with, gatekeeping or anything like that. I mean,
Right.
Lifeline, my second project, it was dubbed a project we love. And I think that was mostly because I worked with so many different indie artists on one book, and so I think they liked that idea of bringing so many people together on one project. But yeah, I mean, everything's very smooth on Kickstarter, at least from what I've witnessed, and I back a lot of books on there too, and so I'm just more familiar with it. But I know a lot of people have some issues with it, and I think the add-ons were a big deal too. That the fact that Kickstarter didn't have add-ons, and they just started doing a beta for that, and that seemed to work okay. But I think they're still figuring things out.
Are you charging shipping on this? Somebody brought that up.
Only on the books, like if you're buying more than one book.
Oh wow! So you get free shipping if you're getting okay.
Yeah.
So if you're buying volume 1 and volume 2, there's going to be
there's going to be shipping. But yeah, if you just get volume 1 or volume 2, it'll be free shipping.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, if there's here we got a backer for you, the Great CG Oracle backer number 1.
All right. Thank you so much.
Congrats there. Yeah, that very cool. Well, I'm glad to see you moving forward and giving Indiegogo a shot. I love Indiegogo. I've used Kickstarter on a game project that I did. This was earlier, and it was just a terrible failure. One day I'm going to do. The game was good. I think I'm going to redo the whole thing someday. But I love that Indiegogo has in demand. I love that it's just like you get shown on their front page just based off of traffic,
right?
So which is really nice, actually.
I'm actually surprised because on my campaign, about 40% of my funding, you know how they'll show you the little pie and they'll show you what you're getting from outside and what you're getting internally from Indiegogo. As much as 40% of my funding still has the pink Indiegogo bar. So I don't know if that means is that organic searching Indiegogo, or you might know this better than I do because I've never really paid attention to those things.
Well, yes, but it could be people that you have sent, like let's say they saw you on a stream or they saw you on Twitter or something, and instead of clicking on your link, they just went to Indiegogo and searched up your name.
Okay.
Indiegogo will take credit for that.
Gotcha.
But like the fact that they have it available and that there's a marketplace that's still selling your book, it makes sense. Even with in demand, I've got Downcast in demand still, and the past few months I've made a few $1,000s just off of little sales. I haven't really been promoting it very much, but I don't know, it's kind of nice. And I keep thinking maybe I'll move over and sell it somewhere else, but at the same time I just love people knowing that they can go to Indiegogo. Like that's the place to go to get the books. So I don't know, still working through all this.
I like the flexible goal option too, because if you're determined to do the book regardless, which I am, I mean, even if I don't hit my 10,000 goal, I'm going to release the book.
Yeah.
I don't like the all or nothing sometimes, because if you set your goal too high and you don't hit it, you get nothing. So it just always made sense to me to raise what you can, go forward with the project, and supplement whatever other money you need from whatever other sources you can muster. But I never go into a project going, well, you know what, I might do this. No, I always go into it going, this is what I'm doing, hell or high water, it's going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
I like the flexible goal. I see you've done that too, Nandor, with yours. You went with the flexible goal.
Yeah. And I mean, a big reason why, with the flexible goal is because there's not a big risk anymore with me, because the Kickstarter went, it got funded, and all of that money will be used, for the book anyways. And so everything else is just kind of, cherry on top, and
Right.
and everything, makes it more transparent, I think, for everyone. Yes, there is. You can get Volume 1 as an add-on. I'm pretty sure I put it in there. If I didn't, let me know. But I'm pretty sure I made that an add-on tier.
So you would go to back the campaign, and then before you actually pay, it has add-ons on the bottom, and it might be different if you're using your phone. Yeah, I just started backing with add-ons recently. I might start adding them to my campaign on the next campaign. I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous to do it because of what it'll do to shipping. It
Right.
won't be as, maybe not, I don't know. It might not be that complicated either, depending on how many add-ons are available.
Right.
But it's super helpful. It's super convenient for backers, that's for sure. Then you can just get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah, and real quick, like, Jamie, if you're watching this, like, if you see it and there's not an add-on for Volume 1, just like put $20 on there, and I'll see that, and I'll make sure you get your copy, and then that'll help me to know to make an add-on. I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case.
Oh, by the way, Clint, I saw on Facebook, happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
What are you, like 22 or something?
Oh,
Happy
birthday, man.
Yeah, 22. That was it. No, I 34. I kind of lost again. Like, for some reason, turning 30 was like, oh, I don't know. It just was weird. It was a big deal. Now nothing matters anymore. So I'm just like, wow, how am I old? 34. So.
Jeez, I'm not gonna say how old I am.
I'm okay with saying how old I am. But yeah, because I'm kind of. It's interesting. You said you started publishing, or kind of been in comics. When
Since
you're
the Image days. Yeah, my first book came out. It was funny because my book was solicited. My first book, I was 17, was solicited in the same catalog that had Wildcats on the cover.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and so it was an exciting time to be in comics. Let me tell you what, it was pretty awesome.
That
That's
is
great,
cool.
yeah.
Well,
and you know what? This guy right here, sorry to interrupt, Clint, but I have to say this. I have a lot of Comicsgate books coming. This one is the one I'm the most excited about. Snowgen's art, he's winning over tons of fans, I'm sure you know, but it's so good, dude.
I know. He's amazing. Ever since the first time I saw him, it was like random. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like an Iron Man piece or something. He had a few different portfolio pieces that, after I got to know Charlie, I think he had them in a portfolio, and he was shopping around a little bit to work at Marvel or DC. But I saw this Iron Man page that he did, and then he had this sushi scene. I don't know if you saw that one. It's one of the craziest, like, extreme fisheye lens, and it's a like samurai sword fight inside of a sushi bar, and it's just such a cool piece. But he just tagged me in it, and I immediately saw it, and that there's something like superhuman. I don't know how to describe it. He's so good.
There's so much energy and just distortion. Like it's just it's exciting to look at, really. I mean, yeah. Charlie might be popping in sometime. He said. I know he's got some stuff going on, but of course he has a link if when he's available. But he's so good. And the thing is, like, he'll bring up things like, we were on a stream and someone brought up his feet are really big, but it says something about the character too. You know what I mean? Like it's not about. Doesn't bother me.
No, there's something. It's like his feet are heavy, like the weight of what he's dealing with in his job. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about it, but he'll say often, like, I'm sacrificing. Nothing matters but to make it cool. So
even the inside of the ship there has like an organic, like, even though it's mechanical, it feels organic You know what I mean? Like the way he
Yeah.
draws rigid sort of metal objects, he gives them a little bit of an interpretation that just makes it really appealing to look at.
Yeah, you can see like this box here, even it's almost curved.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something, I don't know, it's just fun. It really is. It's cool. Everything has life to it. So yeah, I do see K Manifesto. Great job. Get Fatal to 90K. And I got to show you guys something here. So we're not very far away. Less than $4,000 away. We'll hit 90K. I got She in the mail today. Maybe this is not my favorite thing to do, but we'll go full screen on my ugly mug here. So I got She today. This is just the print from it. Billy Tucci, like,
yeah, that is, oh man,
hooked us up with even these prints that are, they're cards, but they're metallic looking. It doesn't really do it justice, but they're in the camera here, but they're like shiny. It's almost like they're printed on silver. It's not foil, it's something else. I've got to ask him what he did here, but it's really, really cool. Beautiful cards. And one of the big selling points here for me, one of the things I was really interested in, I got the 2 books. That one of these is She #1. I think that Peter from Alterna, Peter Samedi, is responsible for the printing of this comic. It's on newsprint. And then this one was done by API, which is my printer that I have used. And I'll pull it out here real quick. He used a different kind of binding, and this was the stretch goal. It looks square bound. Nothing's different there, but the difference is it's actually sewn. So what that means is you can kind of relax the spine out like you would a hardcover, and it's going to stay more open. This is still, brand new book here, so it's a little stiff, but it's the pages will actually lay flat, and you don't get as much gutter loss. But it's still square bound.
It's not glued, sewn in, you said?
It is sewn in. They call it Smythe sewn. They have, you're not going to be able to see this, I'm sure. So the way that it works is that there's no way. Yeah, sorry. They're sewn together in clumps. I can't remember what they call it. They have the groups of pages. They'll sew those together, and then the cover itself is glued on to the sewn clumps, if that makes sense. So, yeah, here we go. Please, Clint, get them sewn. Yeah, that to me is a huge deal, because Downcast had such thick pages, which was nice, but the downside is it's kind of hard to open the pages, and you do get some gutter loss. So this is the stretch goal at 90K, which again, we're only less than $4,000. It still looks nice. It'll go up on your bookshelf. It'll have a spine. It, by all appearances, looks just the same, except when you open it up, you'll notice that it's sewn. So I don't know. I think it's a smart idea. It was Vaughn that turned me on to this. You guys can't really see here. There's the middle of the book. There's no way you can see that. But yeah, it is stitched in the middle there. So
nice.
Pretty cool. And Charlie Snogans is here. Charlie, how's it going?
You missed me praising your artwork, Snogans.
I heard a little bit about the clumps, though. Oh, praise the clumps.
The clumps.
Gotta dig the clumps, man.
What do they call those? I can't remember what they call them. The sections of pages. Clumps. I think that's official.
I'm going with clumps, man. I like the sound of it.
Make your studio getting darker. Why don't you turn that light off behind you?
Oh, no.
Good Lord, man.
You
like it dark.
This is the old camera. This is the old camera back here from 15 years ago. And it's running it's attached by, duct tape and Elmer's glue. And all the wires are just barely sticking in the back as the old shuttle is coming in on re-entry. A little too hot, a little too fast.
I was going to say, it looks like you're broadcasting from a nuclear submarine.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be.
Yeah, man. What's up? It's Nandor of the Hill People. Have people sang that to you your whole life?
No, you're the first one.
It's not a direct reference. The word is Lothar. Does everybody remember Lothar of the Hill People?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I've heard of that.
You do? Okay.
I have not.
Actually, I have a backer named Lothar. Lothar D. You familiar with him?
No, but maybe that's why
He creeps around.
He's making the rounds. Lothar.
Lothar D. I think is it.
Of
Yes.
the hill people.
What is
my
that
Myers
from?
sketch.
I don't get the reference at all.
It's an SNL. It's an SNL skit when Mike Myers was on SNL.
You're too young,
And,
Clint.
I've seen a lot of SNL, but yeah, not that
Yeah,
one.
go back.
apparently.
Go back to around 95 before he had what? How many franchises does he have? 8. The guy is. He
Something
hits a mother load.
Charlie, Clint's 22 today.
Congratulations.
That's what too. Why? Thank you. Someone should tell that to my hairline, but
You still get carded and just take your hat off and take, look, come on.
they're like, oh, you're welcome past, Grandpa.
Go right in, sir. Go right in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about asking you, and I'm sorry about your hair.
And then I get the senior citizen discount at that point. So
I was just saying to my kids, I have no affiliation with white people. I have no affiliation with really Americans or people with beards. You know who is my group? We're a band of bald brothers, wherever they may be. Black, white, in between, trans, I don't care. Bald people, that's why Clint and I did this book together.
I'll be able to join you in another 10 years, probably, Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to give me another decade to catch up with you and Clint.
Phenomenal.
you
look beautiful.
Nondor's got a lot of hair. I don't think he's going to lose it.
He's also, he's not even allowed to vote yet. He's fine. Hey. Professor, let me see the top of your head. Let me see.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
You look great.
Dude, it used to be so much thicker. It was Nondor thick at one time.
Not everyone can be Eric Weathers thick hair.
Oh my!
I don't know where that guy is. He's probably brushing his hair right now.
with a halo over his head, and Jesus just singing directly to him. I blessed you follicularly.
That reminds me, I was on a cruise ship one time, and there's a comedian, and he was bald, and he bicked it, and he said that when he goes out in public, people will yell at him, like, "Hate's not cool" or something like that. Hate's not, and he's like, "What? Like, did you ever get that, Charlie? Do people mistake you for a skinhead?"
No, actually, that's never happened. I've been mistaken for. I've been mistaken as creepy, you know. Yeah.
See, you look like I live in Florida. You look like a biker. Like you look like a Harley guy. That's what you look like.
Yeah. That is my thank you. Never have I been so you look tough.
With no hair, you make up for it with the beard, like that's the whole reason, right? Like you have a beard, right?
You have to balance it.
It balances it out. I'm an upside down head. Or as Ethan has said in the past, an egg beard. We are egg beards unite, whatever you want to call it, band of bald brothers. You could call this, I've said in the past that I've gone to the Anton LaVey School of Beauty. And when I said that before in the room, only Vaughn knew who I was talking about.
Are you serious?
You're laughing because you know who Anton LaVey is, right?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Or do you know who Anton LaVey is?
I do not.
You want me to tell him?
Not important.
He's my hero and Vaughn's hero. He's a Satan worshiper.
Founder of the Church of Satan. Yeah.
Oh man.
He wrote the Satanic Bible.
Like such a great guy.
dark twist.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have a good time in Utah.
No, probably not. I did not know that, but I have seen witches. People have been claiming. I've seen pictures of protesting witches out there, unironically protesting. I don't know what for, but they're mad.
Are they honest to God sort of pagans and Wiccans?
I don't know. I'm assuming they weren't dressed like witches. They were dressed like normal people. They were normalizing witchness.
They are. Yeah, they're just. I think a lot of times they get called witches, but they're just pagans.
You're
right.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
They're just into paganism. Pre-Christianity. Dance around Stonehenge and cut a goat's stomach open and listen to the entrails. Yeah, herbs. Do what the entrails tell you. Alchemy. These are my people. They're weirdos.
Yeah. LaVey's actually has an interesting story because he dated both Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield.
I did not know that.
And before Marilyn Monroe was famous, and he also he started out in carnivals. He was a showman. Right. The who thing was an act. I mean, he was a showman.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I think there's a portion of it that's trying to be different for the sake of being different. Yeah,
it was anti-establishment.
There's some of that for sure. Christine Werner is one of the 4 women that watch my YouTube videos. So hi, Christine. I joked about that in one of my videos, but they're out there actually. I see backer names, and there are more women out there than you would think.
Christine was like my 3rd or 4th backer. She's been like my greatest soldier for my project. I mean, she's out there on live streams and chats all the time, just talking about my book. So, I mean, I owe her big time. I think I'm going to have to do some special drawings or sketches for her and throw it in her.
And she loves comics, but she's never heard men complain about baldness.
No, well, and what's crazy, she's in the UK, so it's probably like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning there. So she's actually sitting up listening to this nonsense.
Oh, another one of my people.
Yeah.
Up all night, can't sleep people. Is that just standard for comic people? Can't sleep?
There's something to that, lying in bed, looking at your phone and listening to live streams. That's how I got started in all this. It was like following, like, what is Cecil saying? By the way, have you seen the shenanigans that Cecil has been up to? He disappeared.
Yeah, you see this camera on?
He's a comedic genius. Some of the funniest things, as soon as he hit $250,000, he disappeared.
Yeah, he did.
He put out a campaign update on Cash Grab, which is the name of his book, which is a sack full of bundles of $100 bills, and he said he had traveling to do. That was the whole update. And then there's this picture circulating of him at the airport. Kelsey Shannon has been posting some hilarious videos of anyway, yeah, he deactivated his Twitter account. That's another one. Like all these things. I just love it. So funny.
Cecil as the master at branding.
So he's not coming back? He's not going to Tahiti, never to return?
I mean, I think that's the plan, really. The book's called Cash Grab. The idea was, and he's been forthright about this, it's about taking everyone's money and you get nothing in return. No, I'm sure the book's at the printer right now is what's happening. But
250 large will take you far on some island. You can stay there for what? Probably $10,000 a year for.
Actually, I think Epstein Island's at a discount right now. So
he can get that one. If he wants to be associated, or why not? Yeah, Vigilante Lynn says he called it Cash Grab for a reason. He's delivering on his promises. So
yeah, it was completely transparent there. He knew everyone knew what they were actually buying. They were paying for him to just have fun.
I know. The funniest thing, I've heard so many people say, if I actually get the book, I'm going to be very upset. And I expect when this book comes out, you're going to see all these angry Twitter posts of like, why did you send me a book? It's so funny.
What is that on the better? Is that Professor Murph's book up there?
Yeah, that's my book, War Party. Actually, I think your backers got me within $140 of $7,000 if you refresh.
Let's refresh it.
Or your chat.
3 more backers. Thank you, everybody. So this is Climbing War Party. I'm going to post this link again. I think our moderators, our wrenches, have been doing a great job too, posting links.
Thank you.
You guys are fantastic. I'm going to post this again. War Party. Give us the pitch again. I think we got, who knows, we might have a whole new group of people in here.
Okay, can I do a shorter pitch? The splintering said it all. Pocahontas meets Altered Beast. That should tell you a lot right there.
Very cool.
Nice. Because it's I just hope the art speaks for itself. Of course, if you want a motivation, it's about a father trying to save his little girl. She was been abducted during the war, and their whole family was wiped out, and she's going to be sold to the French. So they're given these pelts that transform them into beasts, so they can take on both the French and the British to get his daughter back. And that's
Very
sort of
cool.
just of it.
Wow, that sounds phenomenal.
This is one of the best deals too, because you're getting 6 issues, over 140 pages, right, of content, story.
Six floppies.
6 floppies.
Yeah. The last issue is about 30 pages of art. So most of them are 22, but the last issue is going to be a little longer because I have a big battle scene. I'm going to have a lot of double page spreads and things like that.
We've got to play the trailer demand. That's a good idea. I think this has been another point where I've got to stop sharing and then reshare screen like a professional here. But this has been another point of, the bar is being raised. The videos used to be long rambles. I know mine were, and you kind of have to do a little bit more than that. So I don't want to set you up for anything. But I've not seen this yet. Let's take a look.
Everything changed when war reached the Americas. Caught between the French and the British, my family paid the price. Only my darling Sarah survived. They took her away. We couldn't save them, but we will save her. 5 men against thousands, how can it be done? We are not merely men. War has brought out the beast in us all. And we will have our vengeance, for we are the War Party.
That is fantastic. That puts mine to shame. That was awesome, man.
I try to keep it just brief, and I know people don't want to hear me ramble. That's what I'm here to do right now, right? Me and Nandor, we're here to ramble about our books.
Yeah, that's why we do streams.
but I think a big part of it is just they get a taste of what the book is like, and just like a movie trailer, it gets you excited about it. And if it's doing that, it's great. It probably doesn't hurt too that you have a background in animation.
You need to tell Badger Comics to behave. I'm a married man.
Okay. It's Badger Comics. I saw an offer to buy you.
Yes, and I'm a married man, Badger, right here.
Man.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
You wouldn't want to marry a badger. It's all this skin suit wearing stuff, I think, is this is where it leads. It's inevitable.
They just gave me an idea. I've got to have a badger skinwalker in this somewhere. I think that'd be great.
Cameo or something. I love that. Yeah, looks good. War Party, great trailer. Looks like a really, really good book. A lot of story for a small investment. You're buying it. $25, 6 issues. That's a great deal. But you could even get this. Let's see. This is the complete variant set.
Yeah.
So
what that is you get the 6 issues, but then I'm going to give you 5 variants of number 1, and each variant features a member of the War Party. So there's 5 of them. And that's the one that has the Michael Golden cover. He did the Eagle cover. So I did all the covers but the Eagle.
So you're getting 11 books.
11 comic books plus a free signed poster for $50.
I'm better at counting than the whole state of Arizona. Just saying. That is a very good deal. $50, that gets you everything. Wow, that's awesome. Very cool. Let's take a look over at Seasons as well. What's your trailer like? I don't want to Nandor.
It's remember. It's just me like introducing myself and then just showing a ton of art, and that's really it.
Very cool. Well, it's up to you if you want us to show it or not. I know for Downcast 2, I got less. Like I put more effort into the first one than the second one. And then
Yeah.
the second one, they showed it on streams, and they're like, "What?" Everyone hated it, so I can't do that again. But
Your boy Zach
I mean,
makes the best.
I'm totally good. If you want to show it, it's cool.
sure, we can show it. All right, so here's seasons. We've got the audio working. So
Hi, I'm comics creator Nondor Fox Schaefer, and I'm excited to finally bring Seasons to Indiegogo.
sweet.
It's very classy, Nondor. It looks good.
Thank
you should be
you.
proud of it.
Yeah, I worked like a ton on the video for the Kickstarter, and I was like, I can't put that much more time into this one. So I thought, if you don't like the art, you probably won't like the book. So I'm just gonna like put Anthony's amazing art on there, and there you go.
Art's good for that. To sell.
Yeah, I
work,
mean,
that's for sure.
picture tells 1,000 words. You can, and putting the pages on there, you can get a good feel of the tone of the story and what we're trying to convey. And if people want to know more, of course, I have it detailed on the campaign page. But I want people to I think it was Jake Parker. He actually said he recommends people not having a video, which is very weird because he said that it's one more kind of like blocking the road for the people to actually go to your campaign. It's kind of like the video is kind of in the way. And I think that's why short videos are the best. If you want to kind of make a compromise, just make it short and sweet.
Yeah.
And that way, you can just have people go to the campaign, page and actually look at your perks instead of people getting stuck on the video and then, possibly having to do something real quick and forget about it.
Jake Parker, he's got a campaign that I need to beat because when he had it launched, this is the one. This is the other campaign that was from Utah.
Yeah.
That it was like $104,000 or something like that. So we need to beat that. But I think part of it is when you're using streaming video to sell your book. I think that's where the trailer really shines because then you can show it live and talk about it. Charlie's sharing some artwork. Holy smokes!
Nice.
Clint, this is the I don't know what page it is. It's sorry.
This is the camera from.
So this is right after he holds Eldridge up, and then Eldridge floats up above him as he turns to the camera and says, "Look at all these aliens I just killed." This is his broadcast commercial to the galaxy, and then he says, "Yeah, check me out, man. I'm Flynn. You want aliens? Did you come to me?" So it's a live broadcast, and the two chicks are watching him, thinking, "What the hell is this guy doing?" And then he turns the camera and says, if you got aliens, just imagine Vaughn's voice. If you got aliens that need killing, just dial 1-800-GET-FATAL. And right in there, 25% off. Offer does not apply in the outer rim.
That's cool, man.
And then comes the part where the girls
Fat
look at
L.
him and said, "You called your business Fat L? You're Fat L? You're a fat loser." And then he's going to get annoyed because he's going to say, he's going to turn and say, "Bitch, I'm on TV. You're ruining my ad." But
I love Kit's facial expression is hilarious.
Charlie, did you ever do? Because I noticed in your facial expressions, were you ever a caricature artist by any chance?
yeah, I just posted today. While everyone's arguing about politics, if you go to my my Twitter page, I posted two political drawings together, and I'm a milquetoast libertarian, so my politics are essentially the middle of the road of everything, right. or the extreme of everything, right? So I did a Chris Christie one way back, and an Obama with George Bush and Barack Obama doing cocaine together in the Oval Office.
Yeah, because your faces are so expressive. They're just it's great. I love it.
Thank you. I wanted them to look. I wanted these two girls to look just, that ridiculous girl face of, what are you doing? You're such a dumb guy. And then he's gonna have it out. They're gonna rub each other the wrong way for the whole book, because he kind of looks like Michael Bancroft right there. I don't know why.
That's funny.
Something about him right there. He's a little Bancroftian.
But the hands look so well drawn.
Thank you very much. I spent a lot of time doing the hands. Oh, is that a knock on Bancroft?
They give him so much grief about hands. I guess he drew some hands really badly at one point, and he's never been able to live it down.
I saw him. He posted something on Twitter where he got his hand and he manipulated it with Photoshop, and he said, maybe I should stop using my hands as reference.
I did see that. I did not understand his joke whatsoever.
Clint, not to change the topic, but that C Money said something that I was wondering if you could address, where the thing about coming to Comicsgate late. Do you see that?
Holy farts! I want this book yesterday.
No, you got to go up. No, go up. It's a little ways up. It says I'm a little late to the whole Comicsgate scene. There it is.
But WTF, they all just seem like awesome comics. What's the negative stigma surrounding CG? Okay, the negative stigma is just that. It's stigma. And if you're like me, the moment I heard, there's so much history to explain. When I heard about Mark Waid, a big time professional in comics, interfering with your boy Zach getting a publishing deal from a really small publishing company and making it so he couldn't get his book published, I thought there's something to look into here, because I know how that feels to try and get published, and the thought of somebody in comics preventing you from getting published is a big deal. So what it is, in my perspective, is that there's the existing establishment in comics, and they control things. They're the powers that be, and if you go against that in multiple ways, then you are going to be labeled and going to be part of this stigma. And it comes from a lot of areas. One is criticism of comic books, and I can tell you for a fact there's a reason why most mainstream comic book review sites that have been around for years only give good reviews to comics, and that's because those people want to work in comics. And if you give a bad review to a comic book, there are professionals in comics that will keep you out. I saw more evidence of this over the past week. It happened. And so, when YouTube started becoming popular and people were complaining about comic books, it made a lot of people very upset. And so as opposed to addressing the criticism or shrugging it off like in most other industries, they call us bigoted Nazis, like all that kind of the most ridiculous stuff that you can say. I don't know, that in my perspective, that's what it comes down to. There's a lot of other things, but the stigma is not earned.
The industry was cruising along and selling books. I mean, the best example is when Marvel acquired Star Wars. I think the first book that they put out sold 1 million copies.
Yeah,
and they hammered politics into all the books, where it does, a little bit of politics is all right. It's always standard to have something in there, but they hammered a political agenda into it nonstop for years. And within, was it 2 or 3 years, the Star Wars books was down to selling 40,000 from 1 million or 80,000 or something like that. So, I mean, Zach was highly critical. A lot of people were highly critical, but he was maybe the best voice, the clearest bell in the wilderness. And then you could see people were unwelcome if they didn't have the same political point of view as you know, if you go to college and you're a writer, and everybody goes to college, and for some reason, if you haven't noticed, if you've seen any charts, teachers are the biggest contributors to the Democratic Party. Teachers, not just university teachers, teachers of all elementary, high
I'm not one of them.
middle schools.
I'm not one.
Thank goodness. And well, I mean, anybody, it's great to donate to you want and to say what you think, but then to only be one thing, and then universities were the biggest contributors to Bernie Sanders and university professors, and that continues on. And then to have a differing point of view doesn't mean you could have a conversation like an adult. It means you're called names and cast out. And from my point of view, I could tell you I'm in the middle. I mean, I'm farther left on a lot of things than most people, and I'm farther right at the same time, whatever you want to call that. I'm all freedom all the time, free speech. And if you hear somebody that's saying terrible things that are going to make their teeth brown and their soul rot, then the best thing to do is have a conversation with them, not cast them out into the deepest pit, never to be heard from again. And that's the only response I ever get from people. Now, I mean, I'm an atheist, and if I argue with religious people, they argue kindly with me. And even if I call them names, they're still nice to me. If I argue with leftists about, I don't know, whatever topic du jour, they get annoyed. And I used to work at a studio in New York, and I never realized on my Facebook page, the only friends I have are liberals or progressives, let's call it. And it didn't even dawn on me. I thought, oh wait, I'm the only one with this point of view. And I used to argue with people, and then I started to realize there's nothing to argue about. They just get annoyed. And it's so hard to hammer anybody out of their position. Even if you're real nice and you do it every day and you talk, it's fun. Maybe with a lot of people, it's fun to have an argument and, you know, a lively debate. But if out of that percentage of people, there's a good percent that just get nasty and call you names, and then you think, wait, we were just friends a second ago. Now you hate me and you can't talk to me, and because I think the tax rate should be lower for everybody. Now I'm a Nazi. My question is always, which part of the Nazi platform has low tax, low capital gains? I don't think that was part of it.
Well, the other thing too is that the ideal, and it depends on who you ask, but as far as I'm concerned, the ideal in Comicsgate is your political opinions don't matter. Like you can have political opinions, but having political opinions don't automatically disqualify you from making comics. And a good example, I mean, Charlie's a libertarian, Charlie's an atheist. I'm very religious. We get along. This is how normal people work. You get along just fine. It doesn't matter. Brian Kriskow is very left-leaning. He's one of my favorite writers in Comicsgate.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. And so it doesn't matter. I think the political thing ends up becoming more of a weapon. And at the core, it's really about sort of a protection of power and the existing establishment and how the way things should be working and how they should run. I don't know. It gets complicated. A lot of time has passed, I think, too, and a lot of history. But I don't know.
Also, I mean, in the industry, it even went beyond politics. I mean, it got to the point where you couldn't even draw idealized, sexy women.
Yeah,
like that's not a political thing at all. That has nothing to do with politics. But like, it seems like it just branched out to all these other things that you can't do this, you can't do that. This is wrong. This is offensive. And you know, at some point as an artist, you're just like, what am I even doing here? Like if there's got all these rules and regulations, why am I even doing art? I could go do something and make a lot more money doing something else. I'm not here to be annoyed, you know, or silenced. So it's weird how it seemed to branch out beyond politics into just all of these, you know, checkbox things that
social
you can't do.
Well, and then there's also the fact that and this is this is definitely part of the reason why there's a lot of people that are not happy with Kickstarter in general. But if you'll notice, if you get on there and if you specifically put, like, you're encouraged, you're rewarded to make your comic book have a political point of view, the correct political point of view, and if you're very vocal about that, you're going to have a much easier time in comics. And I hear this stuff behind the scenes too. There's a lot of pressure to do that. If you don't, or you know what I mean, if we're, heaven forbid, you want to talk about comics that don't line up with Alan Moore's politics in his comic books or something, then you know, like it's a surefire ticket away from getting opportunities.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so strange too how the political becomes the anatomy, because we wouldn't want to attract the male gaze with an idealized form of any kind. Don't attract the male gaze. And believe me, I was in art school. I also attracted the male gaze, and then but I was gaze. I was also
well, Charlie, you're a handsome man.
Well, I don't know. Is the badger a male or female? I might be attracting the male gaze right
you
now.
have no idea.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a badger.
It's a badger. No, and I think just having room, like, you know, it's no surprise. I'm pretty conservative. One of the things, like we've already talked about this, but with Charlie, I was like, I want books I'm associated with, I want women to be dressed to some degree. We had this discussion. I know people don't all agree with me, but the point is that we can have these you know, different standards and goals that we're going for without it meaning if you don't agree with me, you don't get to work in comics, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I agree to a certain point. I don't want to, that low cut, that's I don't know, that's the appropriate amount of low cut. If it goes any lower, I even start to think, am I being too, so I have a line too.
yeah.
But you know, it's supposed to be tantalizing, not, you know,
but there's a discussion that can be had. The other thing too, though, is, I don't know, for me, it's like, yeah, make them look like women. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to have like a restrict.
Well, I mean,
size,
here's what's even stranger. The same things are in effect in advertising through the culture. I mean, a couple of years ago, my main job was drawing pretty girls for fashion and beauty ads in storyboards and concepts, and that's kind of gone. They asked me to draw heavier, less attractive, and I'm always thinking, we're trying to get people's attention, right? Is that out the window? We're specifically going to try and not sell to people. I mean, and you would see articles. I used to read the Huffington Post every day, and they would always put, look at this pretty girl they put on the cover, and I'm thinking, yeah, they're trying to sell a magazine. And you know who likes that pretty girl? Men and women. That's what we're. I mean,
right.
Have you all seen statues in a Greek statues?
Right,
what do you think is
idealized.
going on with people?
Well, also, remember the Wonder Woman and Mom jeans that came out a while back? Remember that?
I do remember. Yeah.
I was like, if I want to see that, I'll go to Walmart. You know, like, what is this about? Who's going to pay for this?
So preposterous. And it's all coming from the same. They all went to the same dumb school, and they had the same core curriculum classes where they had to learn the same, I don't know, bastardized version of history where celebrating the human form is not allowed. I mean, go look through an art book. There's naked people through it, and they look wonderful. It's all about the anatomy, because it says it's almost as if the anatomy is telling me a story, and I want to hear that story. And I could tell you, there's the story, which is the overlying story, which is, here's the plot and here's the characters. But then each frame is the story of how Flynn is punching, or how the monster is leaping down, and the tendons in his arm are telling me a story, which is tension and drama and beauty bouncing off of ugly. That's the story. That's the fun of it. And if you're going to pull that away, then good Lord.
Remember covers like that?
Oh, it's wonderful, man.
Yes, I love the 70s. Anything from the 70s, especially Frank Frazetta, all of that. Oh gosh, Joe Jusko. Yeah, all those. Just I miss that.
What is? Are you a real professor, Professor Murph?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I teach at Florida School of the Arts. I teach animation and illustration. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not just a name.
Well,
how do you think I can afford to do this nonsense, right? Real job with benefits.
But you were here. See, I was in FIT, and I had wonderful teachers at FIT, and they were all working illustrators. So you're a working illustrator working in a school teaching kids and people what they need when they become professionals. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if I were a student, the first thing I'd want to know from my professor, especially if it's the art field, is what are you doing and what have you done? I don't want someone just teaching me theory who's never worked in the business. That's crazy,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good marriage. I love teaching them and seeing their talent, and it's a small school, so I get to know it's only a 2-year school, but I get to know the kids really well and their art. So I know their strengths and weaknesses, and it's rewarding. I really enjoy doing it. But of course, comics and animation are still my passion. So, and they encourage it. They want me to be doing my work outside of work. So it works together.
That's awesome. That's really. Oh, and you're also in one of the United Free States of America, where you're all allowed to walk around.
Florida.
You actually have? Do you actually have
great,
kids in classrooms right now?
We will starting next semester, but I've enjoyed teaching online. It's great because my commute's kind of far. It's about an hour, 10 minutes away.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's a hike.
More time to work on comics.
Yeah,
or watch DVD commentaries, director commentaries of your favorite movies.
Literally anything other than.
Or listen to Sweetcast in the car, which I do often.
That's awesome, dude. Have you worked? So now you've got these books out. Do you have a body of work in animation? What was that like?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a film. I've been working on it for 7 years called Dogtown. It stars George Foreman, Jason Begay from Chicago PD, if you know that show, and Stacey Dash from Clueless. They do the voices of some of the characters. But it's about a bunch of pit bulls trying to escape from a dogfighting ring. Hand-drawn animation. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But animation's expensive. It takes a long time to produce. It takes a lot of money, and that's why it's been taking me so long. Comics are like a vacation for me, man. I mean, animation, you want to talk about labor intensive? Comics are easy, dude. Animation takes forever.
Do you I've been curious about this. Do you record the voices first and then animate?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah. You want to give the actor freedom to express however they want to do the lines, and then when you give it to the animator uses what the actor did to kind of cue the facial expressions and the movement. So it's really a mixture of the animator is the actor and the actor is the actor. It comes together. It's fun to work in. It just takes a lot of money and time.
I was just thinking, like, if you have to wait for it to be animated and it takes such a long time, who knows where George Foreman is at that point.
He's done. Yeah,
that's good.
I mean, honestly, because he's a boxer. He's pushing 70. I'm like, gosh, I hope I get this movie done before George goes. I was like, I want him to see it, But he plays a retired fighting dog, so that's what's so cool. He just plays himself. I told him in the studio, I said, just be yourself. I just want you, George. I want your voice, your personality, your experience from life. Put it into this character, and that's what he did.
Wow.
So you're directing it and producing it as well?
Yeah, I've done a lot of the animation. I paint the backgrounds. I have animators all over the world working on it. Different portions as I can pay them. It just takes a long time, so I figure I can crank out a comic book in 6 months and keep working on Dogtown.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, dude. I love it.
I'm just taking a look back at these campaigns here. I think we're actually going to probably wrap up here pretty soon, but we've got War Party. You just heard from Justin Murphy, Professor Murph, as well. So that this is War Party 6 issues. This is a really good deal, and not only is it a good deal page count wise, but if you're thinking about shipping costs, and that's the biggest thing I hear about as far as feedback goes from backers is shipping costs. These are all shipped together, so you're getting 6 books or 11 books if you back this complete variant set, and you get all the books. They're all shipped together, so that really is a very good value and really fantastic looking book.
Thank you.
It looks incredible, dude.
Thanks, Charlie. It
some
means
of
a
the
lot.
best artwork out there.
Means a lot coming from you.
Absolutely. So
from one guy who doesn't leave the board to the other guy who doesn't leave the board.
Right.
You guys know how it goes. I'm posting the link here also to Seasons. Nondor, why don't you tell us a little bit about Seasons?
Yeah, so Seasons is a planned 4-volume graphic novel series. Right now, just launched it right here on Sweetcast, the Indiegogo campaign for Seasons Volume 1 and 2. And they're going to be both hardcovers, over 100 pages each. And both books are definitely being made. They're first one's already made, and the Kickstarter for Volume 2 just ended and was successful. So we're coming to Indiegogo to hit some stretch goals. But yeah, it's a supernatural story, a very grounded superhero story. You're not going to see anyone with costumes or anything like that. And it's about one young man who is looking for his own purpose and meaning in life. And with each passing season, he gains new powers and abilities. So as the seasons change, so do his powers, and so do kind of the people in his life and his growth as a character. And there's a lot of symbolism and analogies, and a lot of deep thinking stuff that you can really take a lot of time with. It's not just going to be, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and has great spectacle, and it's fun to go through, but there's a lot to dig into, and a lot of foreshadowing to what's going to happen later in the series, and there's a lot of investment in it. And we put, Anthony and I, the artist, we put our heart and soul into it, and have been working on it for a while. And they're like I said, they're both hardcovers, over 100 pages, and you get gorgeous black and white art. And we're also there's color throughout too, but it's every now and then with each volume we're adding color for the narrative of showing Fletcher, the main character, and his 1-year journey to find wholeness. So we're adding color to his life with each season, if that makes sense.
Very cool.
Nondor, can I ask you a quick question, a printing question?
Yeah.
When you're doing color pages, is the printer only charging you color for the pages that are color, or are they making you print the whole thing in color, even the black and white pages?
Yeah, only the pages that are colored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was curious to know how they would separate that. That's interesting.
Nondor, you have an admirer out there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, back Seasons on Indiegogo. Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
Carl.
let's the art speak for itself, guys. Leave them alone.
Yeah, and it's you get a lot. You really do get a lot of content with the book, and like I was saying, so with Volume 2, we unlocked the first stretch goal already, and that's to make Volume 2 feature like an embossed cover with gloss and a thicker interior paper stock too. So it's going to be this really deluxe book. And Volume 1 looks great already, but we're going to add so much more to Volume 2. And and there's going to be 2 more volumes. It's a very ambitious project, but we're really confident in it, and are super excited about this story. And if anyone's a fan of American Gods by Neil Gaiman, or Midnight Nation by J. Michael Straczynski, Sculptor by Scott McCloud, like books like that, you'll really dig Seasons. It's very grounded, but there's a lot of great supernatural superhero elements to it.
Yeah. So another thing too, I just want to make sure is clear is that you already have the money to make the book. You're already making the book.
Yeah.
This is you moving to Indiegogo in response to people specifically asking him to move a campaign to Indiegogo.
So, yeah. I got a lot of requests for me to put it on Indiegogo, because there's like we were talking about, some people just don't go to Kickstarter, and so I wanted to bring it to here and bring everyone along for the ride. And there's still some there's not as many perks as on Kickstarter, but there's still some exclusive perks that you can get here on this campaign, like your name in the book and original art. And you can also get like every book that I've made so far, so like Seasons Volume 1 and 2 and Lifeline. So I mean, you're still getting a lot for a good price.
Very cool. And this isn't a long wait. April 2021. This spring you could have the book, and not only that, you can get the first and second volume, which is a really good way to go. This is the PDF. I was like $15.
Right.
Let's see, to catch up, you got they're $40. That's $20 each, which is a really good deal for a crowdfunded book, especially. And how many pages is this total?
Yeah,
120?
altogether it would be around 240.
Whew. Yeah, that's a really, really good deal. So that's something we have in common here tonight. These are all books that you're not worried about what the total is. Like, the books are coming. I think you said that as well with War Party. You got a flexible goal set here. The books are coming out.
The books are coming whether I hit 10K or not. I mean, I'd like to go in demand, but it's been, it's got a lot of momentum going, so I think I'll hit it. I got 27 days left. So.
Nice. And then, of course, Fatal it's coming out. It's coming out no matter what. We have well surpassed our what we needed to get it done. But we do have that 90K stretch goal, which I showed earlier with Billy Tucci's She. He's got a sewn binding, so if you did back She, you can look and see what I mean. At first, you don't notice it. It looks like a regular book, regular perfect bound book. But when you open it up and you sort of, stretch those pages, stretch that spine, relax it, then you can see that the pages stay nice and flat and open so that you can read it conveniently. You don't get gutter loss. So that's our 90K stretch goal. Makes for a really nice looking book too. So yeah, that'll be the plan, and that'll be included also on the artist edition. So the regular edition and the artist edition both sewn once we hit that 90K stretch goal.
You're a brilliant man, Clint. Brilliant.
I can't take too much credit from this one. Vaughn brought it up to me, and I was like, why would you want to do a sewn binding for a paperback? And he said, and then he showed me pictures comparing She to Downcast, and I said, okay, you've convinced me. We're gonna do it. So,
is it? Can I ask? Is it more expensive?
It is a little bit more expensive. It's not as much as you think, though. So it's a pretty affordable. I think it makes for a good stretch goal. Especially, I think they said that there's the printer said that there's like a sweet spot depending on your page count and the number of books you're getting printed.
Right.
Where it's really not a big change in price.
It's just a cost of thread.
Pretty much. Yeah. Whatever their process.
But you're making the reader's experience a lot better because they're not having to sit here and peel that book open and that can get annoying. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing about floppies that's nice is when they're stapled, you can just lay them out flat. You get no gutter loss. So having that kind of option with the square bound, it's like the best of both worlds. I like that quite a bit. So
brilliant. When you talked about that before, I really didn't understand until you demonstrated it and explained about the gutters, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, I had to. I know with hardbound books with the sewn bindings, like it makes sense to me in gutter loss, and getting a hardbound book that's glued is like the worst possible thing you can get. But I've just never seen it on a trade paperback before, so I'm really glad that I just got this book from Billy. So. Perfect stretch goal.
The great Billy Tucci.
He is. Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's entertaining. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thanks to everyone for coming. I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. Appreciate everyone coming onto the stream. Professor Murph, great to meet you and to have you on. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
Nondor, congratulations on the second campaign. You're a busy guy. But moving to Indiegogo, I think is a good move. I think it'll be good to start developing an audience there on Indiegogo.
Yeah, that's what I really want to do, and I'd love to transition here. It'd be great. A big reason why I stayed with Kickstarter for Volume 2 was, of course, because I did Volume 1 on there, and so I knew there would be a lot of returning people that it was more reasonable, for that. But I do love the Indiegogo crowd, and I'd love to, be successful on here too, and bring everyone together on this platform. It'd be awesome.
Absolutely. And I'm going to answer this question before I go. This from C Money. He says, "What were your thoughts on your poll between $25 trade paperback versus $32 hardcover?" It's a good idea. I should bring that up. Let me just get there really quickly here. Let's see.
You want? You could show them. I'm starting to draw. You want to pop me up on the screen because it's while you look something up.
Well, let me. I've got it right here. Hold on, real quick, and then I'll pull you up. Here's so I posted the poll on Twitter. It's not super conclusive, but I asked for a 125-page graphic novel. Would you rather pay $25 for a paperback or pay $32 for a hardcover? And it's as close as the polls right now in Pennsylvania. How about that? I'm being topical.
Wait, hold on, Clint. I think I have a few more hardcovers laying around here. Get those numbers up.
Yeah, it's close. So what does this mean? I don't know. I think we talked about this earlier. Like if you're going to go to print and you're printing the insides, it kind of makes sense economically to do a hardcover at the same time. So I'm talking to a printer, but I just want to know for the future, like what to do. People were asking, wait, is this for Downcast? Like, what's the deal? I have no specific plan for it. I'm just posing the question because I've been surprised before. I thought more people were into floppy comics. When I did a poll, I was shocked at how many people like books that you just put on your bookshelf, square bound. So I wanted to sort of ask that same question with hardcovers. So I don't know. I'm going to get more information from printers and see what makes sense. But right now, all the plans are for trade paperbacks, as far as anything that I'm doing right now. So hope that answers your question.
Charlie, I just want to tell you this thing that has me laughing because I know it's always part of the idea that he's going to be selling it. But as I'm drawing it, I keep thinking of the slap chop guy. So he's this super enthused, bright, shiny. We had the previous page where he takes his helmet off and the girls are surprised that he's so handsome, and he's using that to sell, right? So then he turns to this broadcast, and here's this handsome guy, and he's looking up at the camera, and he's so bright and smiling, but he's showing them a dead creature. Where he's just. Have you got problems across your country, across your land, where you've got aliens invading everywhere?
It's like the ShamWow guy meets the Holocaust.
That's right, the ShamWow guy. And he's are they eating you as you try to go to your ship? Well, act now. If you act now, you've got the greatest guy in the galaxy. Call me. And there he is saying how happy he is. And then he does that. But it's just making me laugh how happy and bright he is, where he's just saying, act now, destroy these creatures. Aren't they wretched? They're slimy, they're gross, they'll eat you too. Before they eat your goats, make sure to call me. So I don't know, I keep thinking of him as part, for some reason, with the visor down and the collar up, he's a little Iron Fisty looking.
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
So part Iron Fist, part, Matt Damon in The Martian. And
who is it? It looks like Robert Redford a little bit too when he's got, especially in color, like a young Robert Redford.
Yeah, I always think there's a certain handsomeness that you want to aim at, but not pretty. Nobody wants Brad Pitt. We want the Marlboro Man. And he's the Marlboro Man. Is your planet experiencing problems right now? So I don't know. That just made me laugh. Happy birthday, because
I love it.
It's just making me giggle, and so I'll add all sorts of gore, underneath here, kind of bubbling around. Where
it kind of has that Starship humor or Starship Troopers humor. If you've seen the movie, that satirical kind of edge to it. It's like, you want to know more? Remember that we keep coming on and then be talking about like it was like propaganda. The whole movie's like a propaganda thing. That's what it reminds me of.
And I just for years watched Star Wars, and we watched Star Wars, and Luke, he wants to go join that thing, but we don't know exactly what it is. But if anybody wants to find it on YouTube, there's the original radio show that they made back in '77 or whatever, with Mark Hamill and Anthony Daniels in it.
Oh wow!
And Lando, and the very beginning is Luke listening to the ad to join the Star Academy. Come join the Academy. And the music for the commercial that he's listening to is the Star Wars theme. and it's got the announcer who sort of sounds like the serialized thing where he's saying, Heck no, join the Academy. And I remember George Lucas saying that he wanted that voiceover to sound, like the serialized Buck Rogers stuff.
Right.
And that's what he's listening to. It's the ad to join the Star Academy that in the movie we know he wants to be a part of. We don't know exactly what it is. And I just got tickled by that, man. I think that's funny too. And he's complaining he's not a part of that. And the whole beginning to this original radio drama is Luke on the planet, and you can hear it is exactly American Graffiti. It's American Graffiti.
Awesome.
Well, Star Wars is basically American Graffiti in space. I mean, you know that, right? It's hot rods in space, But don't be surprised if Fatal has another life as a TV series or a movie, because this concept to me is a no-brainer sell for something like that. I think. I really think it.
That would be really cool.
Where's Vaughn? This is the art right here, Clint. I know we talked about. I don't even make it go longer. This is the artwork we talked about that I so wanted to be in the cut that you did with Vaughn. This here is the act now, get fatal. And not only that, when people were giving us a hard time, where's the second A? This was part of the reason. It was part of the phone number.
Yeah, it's 4 digits. I don't know. The thing is, we went over the title for so long. It was weeks of trying to figure out the right title and how to do it. And I don't know. Sometimes though, it ends up being a good thing. People talk about it a lot, So maybe it's better.
I'll take bad press. Bad press is good. Let's do something horrible, Clint.
Yeah.
Terrible people. What do we do?
Rest in stick figures or something, and that'll get people talking.
That's right. Page 20 through 25 is just going to be stick figures, and then I don't know, Clint. We have to be worse. We have to be worse people. We're not bad enough.
Everything's a dream. At the end, they wake up and everything's a dream. That's the worst writing faux pas you could possibly commit.
Moxie and Kit will be in the shower together, and they'll say, "What was that dream we had?" I can't tell you how many commercials I draw naked women for soap commercials for Latin America, and it's just barely. They do the just barely hiding it
with suds. Yeah,
just barely.
I do that a lot in War Party because Algonquin women were topless. You know that, right? They didn't wear tops. Algonquin women in the 1750s were topless, so I have to be very tactful about how I depict her with her hair. It's always that convenient. The hair is always in front of the breast.
That's the tribe for me.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, the European men were very taken with the Algonquin women. Let me tell you.
I can't imagine why hot native chicks running around. They could kill a dinner and be topless all while doing it. Sounds perfect.
There you go.
Historically accurate.
Awesome. Well, that's a great place to end it. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Appreciate you guys coming on the stream. I had a good time. Really good books to look at. And I'll be posting a regular video tomorrow. I didn't do one today. I had a lot of stuff to catch up on because I took the day off of work for my birthday. I've never done that before, and I think I'm going to do it every year. It's just an excuse to take a day off. So I did that, and but I'll be back tomorrow with a regular video. Good luck with election blues or whatever you have going on. Have some fun, everybody, and I'll see you on the next video.